Alrighty, let's get going, everybody. Welcome to the studio, where tonight we're going to be painting some delicious ice cream, a big old cone of ice cream up there. Looking good. Nothing better on a hot summer day than a nice ice cream cone. Hello, Michelle. Hello, Dwayne. Hello, Kenya. Glad you all could join. Glad to see you here. Hope you guys are ready to have a good time. Let's see. Getting a few things out of the way first. Just like last week, this is my Hanamule paper. 140 pound cold pressed paper. Got my image pre-drawn on it. The brushes that I'm going to be using are my King Art brushes. Where's the logo? Somewhere. I hope you can see it there. There you go. King Art. Come on in focus. King Art brushes. My paints on the side over here are my M-Gram paints. You can see which paints they are over there. It'll start down here at the bottom with yellow ochre and go up and around the top and back down over here to Payne's Gray. And with that, I'm going to jump in and I'm going to start painting the hand, the arm and the hand here that is holding up the ice cream cone in question, the ice cream in question. And I'm going to start with this to give you all an opportunity to be part of this stream in a way a little bit more than just posting a comment over there. I haven't fully decided what flavors, i.e. colors, these 4 scoops of ice cream should be. So I am going to give you all the opportunity to suggest some that you would like to see, and we can tackle it together. If nobody throws out any suggestions, and I should say it's got to be a suggestion that I'm going to know. I guess you can, if somebody has a regional ice cream that they normally eat and it's got some wacky name, I'm not going to know about it. But I guess any of the really traditional flavors of ice cream, go ahead and throw it out there. If you want to see one of those painted, I'd be happy to do that. If not, I kind of have it written down here. It's very light on my desktop. I wrote it. Some that I'm happy to go ahead and paint it. And the 4 that I've got written down here as a default are a chocolate, of course, right? Who could have ice cream cone without some chocolate in there? I've got chocolate. I've got orange, just because that's an easy color to do. I've got strawberry, because why not? Because red. And I've got mint. I guess you could throw a couple of chocolate chips in there if you wanted to. Mint chocolate chip. Okay, Michelle is saying mint and chocolate chip. And I saw Kenya says you get vanilla. So I thought about vanilla. I'm not opposed to doing vanilla. It would have to be like that hand-churned French, I think it's French vanilla, something like that. That's got a little bit more yellow to it. I think if I were to do it with something that is just really white, it would come out a little odd. And I don't really want that, so it would have to be that, yellowish kind of vanilla. Oh man, just adding some color onto this hand really makes that stand off, pop out of the page. And I did that. I did this. I don't know how long ago I painted skin. This was what was this? This was a cold yellow. For me, that's a Hansa yellow. And it was quinacridone rose. So a red or a pink and a yellow. And I'm looking for my swatch sheet so I can show you exactly what colors those are. And I don't actually happen to see it, and that's distressing. Did it fall on the ground? So I can't even show you. It's a red all reds are warm-ish. It's a warm and a cold yellow. Vanilla ice. It's caramel swirl. Oh, yeah. Caramel swirl, I think, would be tough. I'm not sure how I would. I don't know if I've seen enough caramel swirl. It'd be tough to do. Yeah, the Tillamook French vanilla. That would be one. Right, okay, so let's do that. French vanilla. I'll write it down here. I think I can just get this off here. French vanilla. Vanilla. Mint and chip. Right. And then I'm gonna leave on because I'm gonna get started on some of these. Well, let's see. I'll start with my mint and chip. Which one do I want to do mint and chip? I'm just trying to think how I want to do this. I will do. Well, I'm looking at my reference photo up there. This one's already greenish. That one's pinkish. That one's kind of already strawberry. These two are the two I don't have any idea what they are. Chocolate chip. Let's see. I'll kind of keep them the same over there then, right? I'll swap out one of these with chocolate, and I'll do this one here. I guess I'll do that one as my mint chocolate chip. I'm going to start on this with just, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start on this with a bit of, there's a little color on here, but mostly just some water on here first of all, because I'm going to be using phthalo green for that mint, that really bright pop of mint color. And I want to make sure, before I start layering color on here, or throwing some color on here, I want to make sure I've got this color about in the spot I want. And that means going very light or no pigment at all to start with, so we can make sure it's getting exactly where we want it to be and nowhere else. And then we can come back with some deeper, richer colors. Oh, raspberry. Well, raspberry. Okay, raspberry could be construed as the same as strawberry, could it not? Could you do that? Are they kind of the same color? Raspberry probably is a darker red. Would that be the difference between them? It's a little bit richer of a color. If I'm trying to justify this in my mind, what this might look like. Let's see, I'm gonna take this one up here. Slightly deeper red. Okay, cool. All right, let's do that. Let's call it raspberry then. I like that. And then this scoop comes over. I want to make this scoop come up here. Like that. There we go. I've outlined my mint ice cream right there. Okay, cool. And I'm going to try to use the same light angle shoe that we have in the reference photo. So it's coming from the top left and coming down this way. So that means I can get a slightly stronger mixture and add in a couple of places down here. I don't want to do too much, but I can add some darker areas over here. And before we get too far into it, this will help start to build out some of the dark and shadow, the light and shadow that's coming in from the top up here, down this way. Okay, all right. Cool, so we got some mint going. I'm gonna come up here now, and I said this one's gonna be the chocolate up at the top. This one's gonna be the chocolate. Let's try if we can do some chocolate up here. I think chocolate, if I'm thinking chocolate, a nice chocolatey brown, that's a kind of a burnt umber. I don't want to get into much of a sepia. That would be way too dark. So again, let's put this one on really nice and light here. All right, and this one's kind of melted over what I guess is going to become our raspberry here, just a little bit. Just a little bit of melting over top of that. I should ask, okay, so I just jumped in and I put you guys all on the spot and everything. I should ask, is everybody having a good week this week? I hope everybody's having a good week. I'm having a good week this week. I want everybody else to really have a nice week. I shouldn't be the only one to have a nice week. And it's been a whole week since we've been here, so I hope everybody had a good weekend too. Liza is here. Hello, Liza. Welcome. You're right on time. Liza, you have to tell us what your favorite ice cream flavor is, though. That's the consolation for having come a little bit late. What's your favorite ice cream flavor? How about this? A pumpkin. Pumpkin? Really? Who makes pumpkin ice cream? Is that not a regional, a seasonal thing? Do they make pumpkin ice cream all year round? Pumpkin pie ice cream. Wait a minute. Hold on. I didn't ask what your favorite thing to eat with ice cream was. That might have been the question you answered. Do they make pumpkin pie flavored ice cream? They must. It is seasonal. Okay, it is seasonal. Okay. That sounds like a seasonal kind of a thing. I am just going to say I will say this. I'm a big fan of beetroot ice cream gelato. I've never heard of that. I've never heard of beetroot gelato. I mean, it sounds good. Never in my life. Of course, what I'm about to tell you, nobody else will probably have ever heard of either. There's a lot of construction in the area where I live. Quite a bit of construction. The area is booming. And the family and I went to a restaurant. It's a newly developed area. They have some restaurants and they have some shops and they have a little farm stand and organic farm next to it and everything. Well, one of the shops was an ice cream shop, and we went to the ice cream shop and looked at all the different flavors. And I had a blueberry lavender ice cream, and I'll tell you what, it was fantastic. I never in my life would have gone, I think blueberry and lavender are going to go together, and it's going to be the best. Wait a minute. Oh, I forgot the best flavor ever. Umpqua peppermint candy ice cream. Umpqua peppermint candy ice cream. Okay, Kenya. Umpqua, is that the type of peppermint, or is that the brand that makes the ice cream? Oh, lavender scones. Oh yeah, lavender scones are delicious too. All right, so I painted. So I've kind of worked up here. I'm going to start working back down now. So this child's hand is dry. Most of the mint ice cream is dry. The chocolate up there is still wet. I'm going to lighten the brown that I'm using here, right? I'm going to take my burnt umber and I'm going to add some yellow ochre into it. And that's going to be my waffle cone color. Maybe actually a little bit more yellow ochre into this. And I want to add, just a base color to my waffle cone here while we're all discussing flavors of ice cream. It's an Oregon brand. Okay. Umpqua. Am I saying it right? Umpqua? Umpqua. It's fun to say. I will admit it's fun to say. What was my blueberry lavender was, or lavender blueberry was? Shoot, I go past Negroni Farms, I think. They're a local farmer. Their farm is about 4 miles from here. I don't know. It's a little privately owned farm, but it was pretty fantastic. Umqua. I'm just gonna say umqua all night. I like saying umqua. Oh, nice. A nice cone we got going on here. Oh, I should do a poll. Umqua, pronounced like umpire in the first syllable. Umpqua. I should put a poll up. Can everybody do a poll? How's everybody watching? Is everybody on a computer, on a tablet, or on their phone? Can you guys do a poll? I'm going to put a poll up here. I did a poll a while ago. I haven't done a poll in a long time. But it's time to... Dwayne's on an iPad. Wait, we got a delicious Turkish Delight. Turkish Delight. Okay, hold on. Turkish Delight is like that sticky, almost a toffee-y candy, right? It takes like forever to make, and you gotta boil it and stir it for hours and hours and hours. That's in the ice cream. Turkish Delight is in the ice cream, or the flavor is just a Turkish Delight flavor. I gotta know. We have a Turkish Delight store, station. I don't know what you call a place that sells Turkish Delight. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna let my cone dry. We're looking good. I like some of the lights and darks on our mint here. Jelly-like with rose water. There you go. Yeah, but it's like thicker than jelly, right? I think if I'm thinking right. Oh, maybe I can't even do a poll right now. Oh, how do I do a poll? Oh, I've forgotten how to do it. Here's a poll. Oh, now I forget what they're called. Here we go. Here's your poll. Start the poll. Which is better? The waffle cone, like this one, or a sugar cone? I think they're called sugar cones, aren't they? I think they're sugar cones. It's got pieces of Turkish Delight with nice rose water ice cream around it. Ooh, it does sound nice. It sounds nice. My youngest, Finn, after we had some Turkish Delight, Finn went, I'm going to figure out how to make Turkish Delight, and actually made some Turkish Delight. I'm going to vote in my poll. I'm going to vote in my own poll here. Oh, can I do that? Oh, I got to sign it. I can't. Oh. Oh, I can't even use my own poll. I haven't signed in to do it. Oh, I'm going to let it go for a minute. So I had quite a bit of Turkish Delight. Let's see. We said, yeah. Raspberry. So I'm going to try this. Let's have a piece of paper. I don't need a good piece of paper. I can use a bad piece of paper. All right. I'm going to try to get raspberry color right. So I'm going to start with a little bit of this quinacridone rose. I'm going to put a little bit of this. Oh, that was wrong. That's not cad. Oof. Sheesh. What's the... Oh, I can't remember my colors now. That's, I almost said cadmium red. I'm going to have to watch it go past. This one is maroon perylene. That's what I wanted. Along with this. Maroon perylene. And that one's alizarin crimson. Yeah, I think the maroon perylene looks a little better to me for some raspberry ice cream. If I'm looking at that, that's more raspberry ice cream to me than this one. But I guess I could be convinced either way. I like this. This one just seems a little pinkier. Don't say alizarin crimson. You know I hate that color. Beverly's here. Hey. I'm glad you made a brain freeze. I had a brain freeze because I was doing too much, eating too much ice cream. I had a big brain freeze. All right, so I'm gonna do that. So that was maroon perylene, if I can remember what I did. Maroon perylene and a little bit of this quinacridone rose. That's gonna get me a lovely raspberry ice cream flavor, and that one goes up here. Is that dry? I think these are dry enough. A lot of water, and off we go. Thank you for bearing with me when my brain freezes up, by the way. I appreciate that. And for the assist there. It's been a long day. It's been a very nice day. It's been an awfully productive day for me. My day job went well today. No complaints there, but it is a long day. I get up very early because I like to, and because sometimes seemingly I'm a little masochistic. But I get up early. I enjoy my job. I get to work early and get started. Helps the day go by really nicely, but it does make the days a bit long sometimes. Okay, let me get my raspberry painted up here, and then we're gonna check the results of our poll. I just want to look to see where this scoop of ice cream ends and the other scoop of ice cream starts. I'm talking about the vanilla and this raspberry one. And I think I'm going to make this one kind of go right in here. Okay, there's our raspberry. That looks like that must have been a big scoop of raspberry in there. Can add a little extra color in a couple of these places. This is a slightly stronger mixture. It doesn't have to be completely homogeneous. The color, we can have a few lines in it here and there. Actually, probably make it look more real. Ooh, I like that. Okay, cool. There's our raspberry ice cream. All right. If I can figure out how to end my poll now. End the poll, and what are the results? Waffle cone wins by a landslide. Wow. Look at that. Everybody likes the waffle cone. Waffle cone is pretty fantastic. I will admit, the waffle cone is pretty fantastic. Liza says the raspberry is looking good over here. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, can you say, no, I want some ice cream? And Michelle says, oh, I don't blame you. I don't blame you either. Okay. Woo, let's see what we need to do. Now we've got some wet color up here. Our cone should be pretty dry. We can come back and we can start with a second layer on the hand. And if we remember back to the beginning of this painting, well, we use quinacridone rose for this too. Well, quinacridone rose is getting a big workout today. A little bit of cold yellow, some quinacridone, mix that all up. Bada boom, bada bing. Got a beautiful skin tone color here. If it gets a little yellow, if it gets a little red, we're not going to worry about it. We can always adjust it a little bit late. What? I'm trying to think. What did I do? Oh, I did a picture of my hand holding a fish. Did we do any other pictures where there was a hand or an arm or anything like that? Or was that it? I can't remember. I think that was it. Just a picture of me holding a fish up. I'm going to turn this around. It's just easier for me to do. Everybody knows I turn my page quite a bit as I'm doing this. And then this is going to get blended way up. I still got a couple other fingers to do over here. Let's see, all these fingers are darker. So all of this can be painted over. All of this can be painted over. That's all on the back side. Everything down to about this knuckle gets painted over. And then we've got something like this. And we're going to blend this real nicely. Just your fish one that I remember. Okay, cool. So just my fish one. Thank you. I was trying to remember. I knew. So I think what's throwing me off is I actually painted that fish one twice. I did two different fish. Because I wanted, before I painted it with you guys, I wanted a fish hanging in my office. And so well, it looks like this guy's got sunburn. So I painted one version of that. And then I painted one with you guys because I liked it so much. So then I got a second version of it. It does look a little bit like he's got a sunburn. We'll fix it. I'm not gonna do much with it right now. Ooh, I probably shouldn't have done that. We'll be able to come back over top of this and fix this. No problem. It won't. It does look a little orangey right now. We can tone that down a little bit. Not a big deal. What I do want to do is I'm going to go back, and now I'm going to start spot filling, right? Or whatever we want to call this. So I know I've got some darker areas that I need to take care of. And I think I can take care of some of those without getting into anything that's wet. I can't go up here. That's wet. I can't touch the hand. That's wet. But there are a few areas in here I can kind of get to. I can work on as long as I might have been a bit too brown there. That'll be all right. So a bit more ochre-y in there. As long as I don't put my arm right in that fresh paint, I think I'll be doing okay. And yes, I do that a lot. I do it on live with you guys. I do it by myself. I do it all the time. It's a bad habit. It's what happens when you shift your paper. I almost said mix your paper. When you shift your paper and you don't remember what part is wet and what part is dry, and you end up with something that ends up on your hand. Ooh, don't touch. Just don't quite touch. Ooh, that's gonna be a nice cone. Okay, so we're starting to get a little shadow underneath there. We'll bring that down a little bit further. Actually, we can bring that down just a little bit further right now. Why not, right? We can bring that down a little bit further as we're doing this. Pull it down, pull it down, pull it down. That'll help. That'll help that shadow look not so stark, maybe. And then I think we'll come up and we'll do our vanilla up at the top. I haven't decided yet. All of a sudden, my camera looks like it's not looking up at me. Whoa! I can see that camera. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Haven't decided yet what this month's challenge is going to be. This is just a fun painting to do while I'm thinking of something. While I'm thinking of something else to do. It's a fun painting to do while I'm thinking of something else fun to do. Let's see. I'm trying to. How do I make French vanilla color? Let's do this. If only I had another area, I could. I need a bigger palette. I think. I need a bigger palette. Everybody's gone quiet. Everybody's gone quiet. We got about a dozen people here. If anybody's here, then it's your first time. Say hello. I think everybody that's here would love to say hello to you. I know I'd love to see if there are any new people here. I love talking to new people. I mean, I love talking to all the regulars here. You guys are one of the great reasons that I continue to come back and do this all the time. But I do like seeing new people too. So if you're new here, reach out and say hello. Everyone's gone out for ice cream. And note to self: no more food paintings. Food paintings are bad. Everybody leaves and goes to get whatever it is you're painting. All right, that's probably a decent. Could be a little lighter than that. We'll just put it on extremely light. And then it'll dry a little lighter than it is too. That's going to be our French vanilla ice cream. It has to be something like this where it would be extremely difficult. Like a really white ice cream would be really difficult to do. All right, let's see. So I will tell you guys this, and you don't have any idea who this guy is or anything like that, but had a company picnic last week, which I went to. Being a company man, went to the company picnic. Had a wonderful time. Talked to a lot of the wonderful people that I work with, but I touched base with one person who happens to be a guitar player, and he and I started talking, and he was like, man, I really like your channel. He goes, I don't get the feeling that you worry a whole lot about what you're painting. It's just maybe not exactly true, but it's not too far out. He goes, I was just impressed with the amount of care you put into doing what you're doing and talking about what you're doing. He goes, I can see how much you enjoy painting. I was like, wow, thank you. You don't always get a whole lot of feedback like that. It really meant a lot that he would take some time out and come over and say that. Made me feel good that maybe I'm doing something right. It was very nice. It was a very nice minute. Okay, as long as I stay away from our French vanilla over here, I'm going to start to add into our mint ice cream here. I'm going to add a little bit of, this is going to take a few layers, and we're just going to build this up one layer at a time, one layer at a time. One layer at a time. I said that and I thought of the old Johnny Cash song, One Piece at a Time. Does anybody like Johnny Cash? I kind of grew up listening to a lot of Johnny Cash. I don't listen to much Johnny Cash now, but man, at one point I listened to a lot of Johnny Cash. And I will say that old song, I got it one piece at a time, and it didn't cost me a dime, where Worked at the car factory, and he snuck parts to a car out in his lunchbox. And it took him 20 years, but he finally built a car in his own garage. Is anybody ringing a bell for anybody, or is that just me? Because it could be just me. That'd be okay. Let's see. I have some lines on here, and I'm just trying to, you get a scoop of ice cream, and ice cream isn't always super regular. It's got a bunch of dents in it. It's got a bunch of holes and whatnot. There's some marks in there where the scooper was at. I just want to represent some of that. Right? I don't want to get rid of all of the really light lines that are here. That would take away some of the highlights that are there, and I want to start putting in some of the darker areas. I love him. And June Carter Jackson. Yeah, there you go. A poodle, a boy named Sue. Gen X. Okay, Gen X, welcome. Welcome. Yes, Boy Named Sue. Wonderful song. Folsom Prison Blues. I probably listened to Folsom Prison Blues 1,000 times growing up. Fantastic, fantastic stuff. All the way up to his Dirt album. Really, I listened to a lot of Johnny Cash. He was just good, and he was right. He's terrible at singing. He just gets up and plays his records and sings his songs, and you didn't worry too much about what it was because you got carried away in what he was singing and didn't worry quite as much about how he was singing it. And for him, it all seemed to work out. Gen X says, hey, hi, cool ice cream. Thank you. Thank you. Just having a little fun here. We're getting towards the end of summer, and I didn't do a whole lot of summertime paintings this year. And it was super hot where I live over the weekend. And now it seems like a good enough time to do a little summertime painting before summer is actually gone. So a nice big bowl of ice cream, or scoop of ice cream, or ice cream cone in this case, is something I'll have in summer. I probably won't have any other time of year. I won't even have like pie a la mode at the holidays or anything like that. Not really interesting. Hurt was brilliant. But in the summer, a nice refreshing bowl of ice cream is really something to behold. And so this is going to be my tribute to a little bit of summer here in doing an ice cream cone. I'll probably go in the house tonight, and my wife will go, oh, it looks like you're growing as an artist a little bit. And I'll be like, what are you talking about? She'll make some comment about how I just didn't paint a cone, just kind of floating in space, which I do a lot, admittedly. She knows why I do it that way. I don't feel the need to have a background or something else to distract from whatever subject is that I'm painting, but to some extent, I get her point. If this was just floating in space, it's an object. There's a hand attached to it. Now it's something a little bit different than just an object. Okay, so I'm getting to a little point here where I've got some dark here, I've got some dark down here, and I want to leave that little ridge of light between these two. Right? I don't want this color to come up and touch. I want that ridge to be there. That ridge has to be there. That's the breaking point between these two. That's what gives it texture and depth and dimensionality. Your challenge should be summer blowout with all different summer activities. Okay. I'm not against that. I'm not opposed to that. Does anybody want to throw out any summer activities that they want to see? And remember, yard darts is not allowed. Yard darts is illegal at this point. Can't do it. I don't want anybody to get hurt. I'm not opposed to a summer things that remind me of summer challenge. A beach. Yeah, I gotta tell you, a beach doesn't remind me of summer. But I live at the beach, basically. So I might have to swallow my own thinking on that one, because I think you're right. For a lot of people, the beach is a summertime thing. I actually like going to the beach in the winter better. But beach in the winter for me is 65 and sunny. Beach for the rest of the country is probably 35 and snowy and frozen. It's funny, we have a picnic, okay, croquet. I wonder if I could do croquet. That's interesting. We have a saying here in my town, because this is where summer goes to winter. Because in the summertime, it is running over there. It is nice and cool here, but it is also foggy, quite foggy. A lot of fog in the summer. So sometimes we don't see a whole lot of sun. But as soon as winter gets here, the sun comes out. It's all over the place. It's game on in the summer, or in the winter here. It's so sunny. The rest of the country is overcast, cloudy, getting snow, and it is sunny and 65 for the better part of the winter here. Not trying to rub it in or anything, but it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. A kite. Okay, a kite. I like the kite idea. Could work with a kite idea. What do we have? A picnic. How would I do a picnic? So I wouldn't want to do just a picnic basket. Ooh, that ice cream's starting to look good. We got some more to do here, but that's starting to look good. That's minty. We'll get some chocolate chips in there in a little bit. But it is definitely starting to look minty in there. That's a bold green. We might even have to tame this green a little bit. Just tone this green down just a bit. But I'm liking it. I like the way it's looking right now. I think it's really starting to look really good here. Let's pull that out. All right. Yeah, look. Ooh, come on, get in focus. That's starting to look good. A nice scoop right there. A blanket, a basket, and some food. Maybe champagne or a cold drink. I can see that. I'm going to jump up and do some work on chocolate up here. I need to become a chocolatier for a moment. So here's what I think about as I'm trying to figure out what I can paint on a Wednesday night. I'm gonna peel the curtain back a little bit. Not that it's anything, wildly dramatic or interesting or anything like that. But I try to paint something. I've tried to either find an image that's already that way, or get a bigger picture and cut it down so that the subject matter isn't so much that you get lost. right? And what do I mean by that? If I paint something that's got a lot to it, typically I'll want to paint it on something larger, okay, a larger piece of paper or something like that. It's hard to paint on a larger piece of paper and get it done in, here's step number 2. Figure out something you can do in about an hour. All right, I have about an hour that I try to paint in, knowing that I'll paint for an hour and I'll talk for 40 minutes, and I'm at an hour and 40 minutes in at that's basically 2 hours. If it takes me any longer, that's 2 hours. That's a long time for anybody to sit down and watch somebody paint. So I'm not saying I couldn't find a picnic image, but a blanket, a basket, and some food, we start to get into a lot of different things in there, and it gets to be a lot to try and jam in. Kayaking or a kayak, cool. It's got some potential. There's some potential there. And Michelle, I don't mean to say that's not a good idea, because I like the idea. I'm just trying to think in my mind how I can pull that off. Because I think there would be at least as I'm thinking of it at the moment, I think there'd be a couple of challenges in there. Croquet. Gen X threw out croquet, right? I'm trying to think. A mallet, a couple of balls. I'm sure he could do it. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure the interest in that, but I like the thought. Whoops, what am I doing here? I got some of this and some of this. Like this image, I was like, can I do this? Can I paint this in an hour? Can I do this in an hour? If I can do this in an hour, I think I can do this. And I thought to myself, I bet I can easily do 3 bits of ice cream in an hour, or 3 scoops of ice cream in an hour. I bet I could do that. If I can do 3, I could probably do 4. 3 would actually probably be better, to tell you the truth, because everybody likes things artistically when we look at it. Groups of 3 always seem to be better than groups of 4. But I liked the weight. I liked the symmetry of the 4 things on here, and seeing a little kid's hand hold this up, I just thought this was cuter as 4, because it's something that a kid would want. This will never get finished. Whoever child this is will never finish it, and mom or dad will either eat it or it'll get thrown out or dropped or something like that. But to me, the imagery is cooler than anything else, and I feel like I'm working pretty fast to get this done too. How am I doing? That's actually not looking too bad up here. What else? We had some other kayaking, a picnic, a kite. Okay, we're flying a kite. Could probably do a kite. We have a kite festival here. I must have pictures. I'm sure I have pictures of the kite festival I could pull on. It's a kite I could do. I have to find the right image for a kite. Kites are cool. Everybody loves kites. It would all determine whether we can get that right image or not. I think we could. I'm hoping this vanilla doesn't turn out to be like butterscotch. Right? If you know what I mean here. I hope it doesn't turn into butterscotch. Okay, what else? What else? Is there anything else? Anything anybody wants to see? I like the summer idea, though. I think the summer idea is killer. All right, we're getting a little bit of this. I do feel like I have to be careful on this vanilla ice cream because you get too much of this ochre color and it just looks ochre. And I think once it gets that ochre, a tiki bar. Oh, now we're talking. Once it kind of gets that ochre color on it, I think it's really hard to get that off. Right? It doesn't cover well. A tiki bar. I actually like that idea. A tiki bar. Could do a tiki, I guess, a tiki torch, a tiki totem. Is that what you call them? A couple of bottles or something like that. Can totally see that. All right, there's some nice color in our vanilla. I think I got a little too much color up here at the top, but we'll work with it. Nice and lighter here, a little darker down here. You know, our light is coming up from this side. I think what we need to do is work on our cone a little bit more. Get our cone down here. This is all going to be in shadow down here. This is all going to be dark, 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 dark down here. Cone dark. Let's remember that. Cone dark, not dark, dark. Cone dark. And then I want a little extra water over here. Again, or no, maybe not again. Oops. Are you guys... Ooh, did I paint this off? Off of here? If you guys can't see this, somebody just say something. It's sometimes tough for me to paint here and look up there in formal cohesive thought all at the same time. So if you see me slipping in one of those areas, somebody just shout it out. I won't take offense. Just let me know. I want to get this on here so you guys can see it and see what I'm doing with it. Here we go. And how do we paint a cone? Dark on one side, light in the middle, right? Dark on this side, light in the middle. I'm going to put a line of color down that side. Sounds a bit counterintuitive, but it's going to work. Gonna make it stand out. A little bit of color here, and I'm gonna blend, 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 and with any luck, that's gonna turn into a 3D shape. With any luck. I think I needed a little more color up here. Maybe this cone got a little dark. That's okay. But as this dries, that light spot there, right? That's going to be light coming down right there. That's going That's going to make this look more 3D than not. Okay, I'm going to step away from this for a second. Actually, I'm going to come up here. I got a tide line I don't want. Come on, why would you do that to me? Okay, done. That's gone. And I'm really going to start to darken some of... JC is here. Hello, JC. Lots of people have a hard time switching lanes from focusing on painting to talking. I'm included. Where's my hand? Where you can see my... I'm in that club. Well, I best try and get some sleep. Nearly 4 a.m. Kona's looking fantastic. Michelle, thank you for joining. You're a whole ocean away. So thank you for joining. Hopefully you can either watch a replay. Hopefully you'll be able to come back and catch some of us next time. It was great to have you here. Have a good night. Hope you get some sleep. And like I said, we'll see you next time. Hopefully. Let's see. Somebody who said something. Jacqueline is here. Hello, Jacqueline. I missed Jacqueline. Hello. Welcome, Jacqueline. It's good to see you again. I'm glad you made it in. Let's see. I'm gonna make up our skin tone here. Right, quinacridone rose, cold yellow, and I'm gonna throw in. Well, let's just throw in a tiny bit of this ultramarine. Why not? Why not make it ultramarine? And that's what I want right there. And I'm going to start to put in some shading. Yes, yes, yes. This whole thing is already in the shade. But I'm going to put in some additional shading, and this might be a little too warm, but we'll figure this out. I want to leave a little bit of that lighter color under here, if you can see what I'm doing. Something without that little bit of purple in it. It's not much of a change in color. It's just got the slightest blue tint to it. It's a very slight blue tint. Come on, let's mix a good color up. And we'll just drop the little tiny bit of blue in there. Basically what I want to do is I want to start defining where some of these fingers are. Right? This whole area is in shadow. The whole thing is in shadow. We all see that. We all know that. I just want to start defining the darker, the deeper shadows. Jacqueline, we know exactly what you meant. Typos happen. I'm glad you made it. I hope your week has been going well. Let's see. Oh, JC and Jacqueline, you got to tell us, what's your favorite ice cream flavor? What's your favorite ice cream flavor? Let's see. A little bit more red, a little bit more yellow. What's your favorite ice cream flavor? I don't know if I said what mine is. I hate to say it. I think mine is, did I say what mine was? I don't know. Butter pecan. Oh, interesting. Interesting. That's probably a pretty good flavor. Butter pecan. I like that. I like that. Easy. Coconut pineapple. Ooh, I like that too. That's a good one. Mine might be mint chip. That's pretty... mint chip is pretty big around my house, I will say. It's pretty popular. See, I'm gonna put a little bit of this cobalt into my mint color here. Just a little bit of cobalt. Maybe just tone this this bright minty green. Just tone this green down just a bit with a little bit of this cobalt color. And now I've got some area, I've got this big area, this big to-do thing here, and I don't have any real color in there other than our base color, so I'm just going to drop that little bit of extra color in there, and that should help to seat that color or establish another area in there. And what I'm doing, you guys have seen me do this plenty of times. I'm just putting on color in one area and blending it out through to another area. All it does is it's going to make a little ledge right there. It's going to make that area just look like it's lifted off the page just ever so slightly. It doesn't do, it's funny, it doesn't do much of anything, but it adds a lot. It adds quite a bit of depth to what we're painting. So it's a little thing, it's not much, but it's something. It really is something. And if we want to fill in a little bit of an area, we want to put a little color on, we'll just put a little color on there. In the area where we don't want any color, we'll just leave a little bit off. But look at that. How nice does that look? Come on, if you were going to grab an ice cream scoop, look at that. We'll add some chocolate chips into that. Or chocolate chunks, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's chocolate chunk. That'd be good, too. Chocolate chip, chocolate chunk, chocolate something. But a lot of chocolate. I think Americans are obsessed with chocolate. I'm not a chocolate connoisseur or anything like that. So for me, chocolate was never a big deal, but we do seem to have chocolate everything. That's not bad at all. It's getting there. Let's see, this is raspberry. What do you put with raspberries? I mean, other than a pie crust or some peanut butter, something like that. I don't have raspberry jelly. I love raspberry jelly. I'm just trying to think, if you were to mix a flavor with raspberry, what do you mix with raspberry? I probably I don't know. I think raspberry might be the king of all jellies. I know grape is up there and strawberry is up there, but in my mind, if I'm gonna have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and there's any raspberry jelly around, oh, it's going on. It's going on that sandwich. Tamarind. Wait. Dust storm warning here right now. Holy cow. Yikes. Yikes is right. Tamarind syrup. Double sweet tart. Tamarind. What is tamarind? Everybody's saying things I don't know. Tamarind. All right. There's vanilla. All right. Let's get a little line on our vanilla here too. I want to be a little bit subtler with their vanilla because it's French vanilla, but a couple of little lines on there probably go a long way. let's get some lines on our chocolat. I don't think we really need more color on our chocolate. I think we've probably pretty much gotten that, but a few lines here and there I think would go a long way towards really setting this up a little bit. We go, and I'm gonna put a line of this right down on the bottom. Come on, give me some. There we go. Right down on the bottom here. Nice and dark. Right in that little hole. So I do love painting food. Here's one of the things I really like about painting food. This is why I like doing this painting. Because there's nothing I can do to this painting that's wrong. There's not one thing I can do to this painting that would make this wrong, because you know why? It's ice cream. And ice cream really can come in any color you want. I can paint anything I want here and say, oh, that's ice cream. And if it's not a color that everybody else knows, you just go, oh, no. Somebody else made that color and made it look like that, and everybody goes, oh, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, cool. See, I totally get that now. This isn't chocolate. This is a Reese, or this is a Kellogg's Cocoa Crisp cereal. It just happens to be brown like that, and they made it like that because it goes with their Cocoa Crisp. I don't know. I'm just making something. I just saw. I was at the grocery store earlier. I took my youngest to singing lessons, and I was at the grocery store, and they had all kinds of like 40 or 50 different quarts of, is it little quarts or little pints of different cereal flavored ice creams. And I'm like, what? Really? Cereal flavored ice creams? Strangest thing. That's why I said the Cocoa Crisps. I don't know why I had Cocoa Crisps on mine. It's the same color. It's basically chocolate, or chocolate adjacent anyways. All right, there's some chocolate there for us. Look at that. Lou's looking good. Looking good. I'm liking the way it's looking. I've just got a hard line right there. If I can just scrub it ever so slightly, I'll be happy with it. All right. I need to. Whoa, that's a lot of quinacridone rose. Give me a little bit of this cold yellow. Come on, let's get some kind of a normal tone back here. Let's put some of this brown in there too. I'm going to try to define some of these fingers a little bit more than they are. Maybe that's a mistake. I don't know. We'll see. I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be fine. And if I think it'll be fine, it probably is going to work out somehow. Probably. Whether it works out or not. This was growing up, and my mother always used to say stuff like this. You're going to like that whether you like it or not. Okay, cool. So now I'm saying this is going to work out whether it works out or not. If it doesn't work out, it's still going to work out because I said it's going to work out. That's why it's going to work out. I have no idea if it's going to work out. Probably it'll work out fine. I don't know. Jacqueline, you had a question. Did I miss anything? Keep getting interruptions from National Weather Service. Oh, no. You didn't miss anything. I'm just reminiscing and trying to paint. Rambling on, babbling on about some of my childhood. Just, oh, JC, I should have looked up earlier. A lemon tart. Oh, so, all right, so now you're going to get me going. What I'm going to do, we have the greatest pie store in the world. That's not really true. We have a really good pie store here. The locals like it quite a bit. I'm going to include myself in that. It's called Lynn's. Lynn's makes great pie. The good thing about Lynn's is that if you ever want a pie, they probably have it made. And by the time you get up to their restaurant, their store, you could have a fresh piece of pie waiting for you. And I've done it before. It gets to be 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, something like that. Everybody at home starting to get a little hungry, starting to get a little punchy. We want something to eat, maybe a little midnight snack. Let's get a piece of pie. Lynn's is open until 10. You drive up there 15 miles, grab a couple of slices of pie and drive back. You're back in a half an hour, 40 minutes. It's fantastic. Everybody has a good piece of pie. Ooh. Maybe I should go on to the Lynn's website and find out all of their pieces of pie. And they have eclairs and they have, I don't know, all kinds of pastries up there too, which is what the lemon cake with raspberry filling reminded me of. They got all kinds of other stuff like that. Maybe I should just go and do everything from their menu. How delicious would that be? All right. Oh, that's not quite dry yet. We got to have some waffles in our waffle cone, right? I think we have to have a few waffles in our waffle cone. I've dropped down a brush size here. And I'm just putting in some of the squares. And I'm not actually going to put in all of the squares. And I wouldn't advocate doing all of these. But let's give the indication of some of the squares here. Right? If you don't have some of these squares, people are going to go, what is that? I know it's a cone, but why are there no squares in that cone? So you got to have a little something in there so that everybody knows there's waffles in the waffle cone. And I had drawn a whole bunch of them in, and now my paint is too dark over the top of them. I can't see where any of the waffles in my waffle cone are. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. We're going to roll with it. Because if you do something kind of like this, usually that's just enough. You get them roughly in the right line, right? They have a cross pattern, so if you have one line of them go this way and one line of them go that way, usually it's pretty good. Okay, so it's getting there. Beverly says it's looking great. Thank you. It's getting there, right? It's getting there. And my little dark around it actually made him look like he's got really pudgy fingers. I didn't necessarily mean to give you pudgy fingers there, guy. I'm sorry about that. But his fingers did start to look a little pudgy here. Let's see if we can do something to help your fingers. And if we can, that's great. If we can't, well, you get pudgy fingers, and sorry about that. Didn't mean to give you pudgy fingers, but sometimes that's how it goes. And pudgy fingers aren't the worst thing in life. The worst thing would be not having this big giant ice cream cone. That would be a lot worse than having slightly pudgy fingers. I mean, I'm not saying, I'm just saying, right? I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Let's see. How are we doing here? I think it's coming along. I think it's coming along. Beverly gave it a thumbs up. Thank you for that. I think it's coming along. I actually like his little pudgy fingers here. This one looks a little square. That one looks a little square, but I'm not sure. And that one, I just noticed I didn't draw them all the same size. Gosh darn it, dropped my iPad. Oh no. Emergency, are you Jacqueline? You said it's high wind. What is the emergency alert? High winds and haboob. What's the alert that they're calling for? What's the storminess that's there? Haboob. It is and haboob. I saw a picture of one last week. Did one roll through last week? Oh my Lord, that was completely frightening to see that. I mean, quite honestly, I would have dropped my iPad too. It was completely, utterly frightening looking. A giant wall of sand coming down. Oh, I want to. Yes, it was pitch dark out. Whew. Frightening. I've been in some gnarly storms. I had a tornado go through my town when I was growing up. I've had trees torn out of our property. Feet, literally feet from our house growing up. I've been in rain so thick and coming down so fast and so heavy that you literally can't see 10 feet in front of you. And I will honestly say that looks like it pales in comparison to what and haboob looked like. Just a 150-foot tall mass of sand and cloud, and it looked completely frightening. You could see the wall engulfing the houses across the street. Oh, totally frightening. So I totally get it. Totally get it. Okay, let's see. What else do we need to do here with this thing? I'm just maybe making a few deeper pockets into my waffle cone here. This is one of those areas where does it matter what the holes in this waffle cone look like? I don't think so. And if I look at this is how I try to do this. If I look at this up close, I'm gonna go, those don't look anything like waffle holes or waffle cones or anything like that. But if I hold this back, right, if I put this on the wall in my office and I stand 6 feet away, they're gonna look perfect. They're gonna look perfect, and I'm not gonna worry about it. All right, so I think I'm gonna put a little bit more on our raspberry here. I'll put a little bit more on our raspberry. The raspberry seems a little plain. I don't want the raspberry to feel forgotten. And I may have gotten this a bit strong on that color, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll just, it's as long as it's wet, we'll just keep pushing this down around. We'll make it work for us. When it dries, it's going to be fine. So we've got our light area here. In general, right? This doesn't really follow the model. That's kind of okay. It's kind of okay. It doesn't bother me in the least, but lighter on this side, a little darker on this side of all of these ice creams, right? Is it super dark? Is it perfect? No, not in the least. Would that really bother me at all? No, not one iota, because you know why? It's not always about having this be a perfect shading job. It just isn't. The shading is good. It's sufficient. Let's say it that way. The shading is sufficient. You understand what it's there for. You understand why it's a little darker over there. You understand why this bit is a little darker. Why that bit is a little darker. You understand why there's a highlight on this side of everything. Your eye's going to go, okay. But you know what? Maybe the darkness that we're seeing in my painting isn't quite as bright, right? It doesn't shine quite as bright as in the reference photo. Well, okay, cool. So our shadows aren't going to be quite as dark. That's cool. We can live with that. It just means we have different bits of shadow here. Different bits of intensity that we're dealing with. Let's see, Kenya. I've also been through a haboob once. Oh my gosh. Also typhoons, hurricanes, earthquakes, and a tornado. Weather can be fun. Weather is a lot of fun when you're watching at home from the National Weather Service. Weather is completely frightening when you are dealing with it yourself. I don't know if I've told this story before. My brother, in fact, you can look it up. You can look up the story. It's on YouTube, here on YouTube. I believe it was Connie Chung. I'm dating myself a little bit, I understand, who reported the story. But in 1985, in the town I grew up in, Lordstown, Ohio, the day before my brother's high school graduation, we had a tornado rip through our town. It ripped through not only our town, but the neighboring towns as well. And my father was on his way over to the house. I think he was probably coming from work to my brother's graduation party, get together. I don't know. I think it was just going to be family. It wasn't really a big party or anything like that. But he was on his way over, and I was in the backyard playing on a swing and listening to the radio, and the radio goes burp, 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 goes off. Oh, the National Weather Service has a tornado watch in effect, for blah, blah, blah amount of time, yada, yada, yada. All of a sudden, the weather just whips up like crazy. It's like out of control. I ran in the house. My grandparents, my dad's parents, who were camping in the yard, right? They traveled around the United States at the time in a camper. They were there for graduation, and they were in a camper in the backyard. They were in the house. We didn't have cable. We didn't have anything. All we had was rabbit ears, right? And so we were trying to get a TV station in, and we only got a couple of stations anyways. There's all this mayhem and madness going on, and nobody's reporting anything. I can't get a good station on TV. I finally get, I believe it was channel 33 on, and they go, oh, well, in Niles and Ravenna, Warren, Austintown, Newton Falls, there's a tornado. I'm like going, okay, cool. That's everywhere right around where I'm at. I don't know what's happening in my town, but that's interesting. And it wasn't about 10 minutes later, my dad comes walking in, and he's this color white. He's not even this color white. He's this color white. And I'm like, what is going on with you? And he's like, well, I was just in a tornado. And I'm like, yeah, right, Dad, come on. You're in a tornado. He goes, nope. He goes, I got out of the car, or out of my truck. I got out of my truck, and I laid down in a ditch. I got to the lowest place I could get to because I thought I was going to get blown away in this tornado. I'm like, holy cow, that's absolutely crazy. And he took, I'm going to say, the better part of an hour to recuperate a little bit. Not placing any blame. I would too. I walked outside and looked at his truck. He had a little Mazda truck, little 2-door, 2-seater truck, one of the early mini trucks. And I'm looking at the hood of the truck, and it's got all these little dents in it. A lot of little tiny dents. And I go back in the house. I'm like, Dad, what's up with the hood of your car? Right? Now, had I seen that today, I'd have probably known something different. But at the time, what do I know, right? I grew up in very rural Ohio. I didn't know what that meant. He was like, yeah, that's funny. That's from the hail that was raining down all around me. And I was like, oh, from hail. I was like, okay, wow. It was hard enough to dent the hood of his car. I'm like, okay, well, after he laid down and kind of got his wits about him for a while, I was like, can we go out and drive around and see if we can see any of this, devastation that's around there? And my dad's pretty cool about it. Once the storm had passed, he calmed way down. And yeah, let's go and let's drive around and take a look at it. We drove around, and I don't know, a mile from my house, there was a path cut through my town, half mile wide, literally half mile wide. Went from that town across my town through the next town. One of my friends, their whole house, literally their whole house. I lived in a farmhouse, a 100-year-old farmhouse. They lived in a 100-year-old farmhouse. The whole house had been picked up off of its foundation and moved about 80 yards and set down, all in one piece. I'm like, oh my gosh. And just other friends' houses were completely gone. It was completely frightening. And so anytime anybody gets scared about big storms or anything like that, I have all the compassion for you in the world, because I've been through a couple that have been super hairy, and I never, ever want to see anything like that again. Just the devastation and the destruction that it caused was absolutely crazy. And I was not really in it, but to see the aftermath and the after effects of it was just out of control. So, Jacqueline, I give you mad props for fighting off a storm and being here. I mean, I'll give you credit for doing anything when there's a storm around there, keeping your wits about you at all. All right, so I think I'm not going to do anything else. Actually, I think I probably did a little too much here, but I'm okay with that. I'm kind of okay with that. The hand is realistic, and I want to eat that ice cream cone. Liza says, looking good. Jacqueline says, your ice cream cone is amazing. It hasn't even melted yet. I could paint a few drips down here. So no. Yeah, it looks like it's been scooped and set up there. Maybe it's a little too much. I don't know. I like having a little more texture. I think this one looks really good. I think this one looks really good. This one might be a little bit too much, but maybe when they scooped it in there, it stuck a little bit, or they bumped it with another thing, and and it came back out. This one's pretty good up here. But what's better than any of that to me is that it looks right. You look at it and you go, okay, cool. I see light over here, light. I see a dark shadow right underneath here, right? That cone has to go around like this. I see a dark shadow under here. It's dark under there. Actually, I should make it a little bit darker under here too, shouldn't I? I should do that. Let's make it a little darker underneath here. I can probably leave that with a little bit of a harder line too. There you go. Now there's a really dark shadow under there. You know that there's some depth, a little bit of dimensionality to it. I'm gonna put just a bit of a shadow on this side too. Just a little bit of one. You don't need a whole lot to make it super effective. Right? You don't need a ton. You just need it in the right spot. That might not have been the right spot. And now I'm looking at it. I'm going to pull that way out. Yeah, because I put that in, now I got to get this corner exactly right. There. Okay, cool. So now, oh, that extra line right there made that hand, now that hand looks like it's coming off of there. Anyways, a little darker on this side back here, a little lighter on that side up there. They look like they're not all flat, right? That's a lot of what you need to go for. Is it flat? Is it round? Is there something to it that makes it look like there's a bit of dimension to it? I talk about dimensionality all the time. There's got to be some sort of dimensionality on it. It doesn't have to be a ton. There just has to be some. You get a little bit on there, a little bit of dimension on there. It goes a long way towards making your, whatever you're painting, making it look right, right? I'm going to use right in air quotes. Making it look as though there's something to it. There's something about it that makes it look round, makes it look real, makes it look natural, makes it look like it's something you want to grab onto. Right, just a little bit of something. I'm going to do a little bit of this. Give me a little bit of this red up here. I'm just going to define that top a little bit here. You know what? I got a little extra. I'm gonna do that. There we go. Just give it a little extra something on here. There you go. It just sinks in that on the outside over there. Tornadoes are very scary. Who said you can never have too much ice cream? I lived in the Midwest for decades. I think tornadoes are worse. Tornadoes are horrible. Oh, they're all terrible. None of them are fun. Like I said, unless you're watching the movie about it or you're watching it on the Weather Channel, they're all terrible to live through because they are frightening and they're all so close to home. They all hit so close to home. If you have a shadow on one side, you got to have a little shadow on the other side. That helps seat that side, tuck that side under. Okay, and with that, can you all, you can even get the whole thing on there. There we go. And that might be it. I don't know. That might be the whole thing right there. Is there anything I've forgotten to do with this one? Put chips in my mint chip ice cream? Pretty perfect balancing act going on there. That little hand is holding it pretty sturdy. He's holding on like, yeah, this is not getting away. I just imagine somebody going, can you hold that out and we'll take a picture of it, and some little kid's holding it out like this going, no, I'm not letting it get away from me. All right, I think I'm going to sign this. I don't know where I'm going to sign this. Right about here. Let's do right there. I'm going to sign that, and if I can do a little, hello, I got a brush here. I'm going to do a little self-reflection real quickly. I do like doing the self-reflection. I think it's very useful. Might be a little more useful if you can step back for a minute and do it rather than do it right away, but that's okay. I think if you look at the reference photo, let's see this. I never even let you guys see the reference photo up close. There it is. That's kind of what it looks like. And we determined our own flavors from that we were going to put on there, and that's okay. Let me bring it back to here now. I think this is a bit messy. I think if I had to do it again, I'd do more like this one, right? This, and whoops, to a lesser extent, this all have kind of what I would call is a little bit of a collar on it. If you look at the reference photo, maybe I didn't draw it so well, or maybe I didn't paint it so well, but if you look at the reference photo, you can see those other three have a little bit of a collar on them made by the scoop that actually put the ice cream on the cone. So maybe I could have made a bit more of a collar on this one and made it look more like these. Would that have made it better? I don't know. Maybe I could have lowered the collar, what I'm calling the collar on this one, made it rounder. I just kind of drew it quickly and didn't worry about it too much. But I don't think it takes away from it. It's instantly recognizable. You know it's a child's hand. You know it's holding a waffle cone, and you can go, that's mint ice cream. That's, we're calling it raspberry, but that's a raspberry, that's strawberry, that's some kind of red ice cream. That's probably going to be vanilla, some kind of French vanilla, and that's obviously chocolate. It's you look at it, you know exactly what it is, and I'm not going to worry about it. I will say this one kind of looks like it's going to fall off of there, and I don't like that. If it were me, I'd be turning that and eating that one first. Brush clear water, then dab a little. Oh, wait. What did I do? What? Brush clear water, then dab it a little with a paper towel. Ooh. Then, man, I hope the kids don't eat the rest of our mint chocolate chip in our freezer before tomorrow. Wait, Jacqueline, what are we talking about? We're brushing with, I don't know what we're brushing with. I think I missed something. I don't see it. Beverly says the hand is incredible. The hand turned out okay. Right, I added this little bit of dark here, right in the middle. I don't know if you have any dark in it. Well, certainly not mine. Mine don't like anything like that. But a little bit of lighter here, a little bit of darker here. It goes back to a little bit of lighter, and then dark around the sides and dark around the bottom of all the fingers. So you know clearly where those fingers are. Just a little bit of some shadowing here where the wrist comes in. That's all you need. You don't need to spell it out. Here's a wrist and put some lines or a watch or something like that. No. All you need is just a little bit of shading in there, and it's going to tell you the whole story. And in this way, right, our color is close. Our color is close enough to a hand color. You can see it could be that color. And a finger, right? He's got that little pad right there that you see. And that little pad, that little line in there, it's just little things that are going to tell you it's a hand, and he's holding it like that. Are you talking about lifting or try to reshape it a little bit? Oh yeah, to reshape it, I'm not going to reshape it. I could go, well, I couldn't do it with the green because the green is done with phthalo green, and phthalo green is a staining color. So what's there for the green is there. The quinacridone is a staining color, so this one would have to stay pretty much the way it is. The burnt umber is a granulating color. It will sit on the top, so I could do that. And this is a granulated color also. I could do anything I wanted to with this, but these two they're what they are now. But I'm going to leave it. I'm happy with it. I think it's a great representation of what that started as. It's instantly recognizable as an ice cream cone, and I think it looks great. And I'm just going to go, here, I'll do it that way. Take a big bite out of it. Okay, that's what I have for you guys today. Whose idea was it? Kenya's? Beverly's? Whose idea was it to do summertime things? I think I'm going to keep doing summertime things for the month of September. We'll close out summer with that. October, we're going to do cryptids. I know that. And we'll move on from there. Until next week, though, I hope you all have a great rest of your evening. I hope you have a great rest of your week. And I hope you're able to join me back here again next week when we do this thing all over again. Until then, thanks so much. Bye-bye.